Right now, there are more than 24 active large fires blitzing through California. They've already burned more than 3 million acres of California's land. Of the 20 worst wildfires to ever hit California, 6 of the 20 worst have occurred this year. This July was the hottest ever recorded in California's history. Then in August, California set a new record for their highest average monthly temperature ever. That scorching heat creates dry, arid, fire-friendly conditions, and that is what has gifted California another record, this worst wildfire season in its history, coming fast on the heels of what had previously been its worst wildfire record in history. This is the portrait of climate change in the year 2020. California Governor Gavin Newsom said today that what California is experiencing is a preview for what is in store for the whole country if the climate continues to warm unabated. He said today that California is, quote, America fast forward. California fires are nowhere near contained. And it's not like California isn't throwing everything they've got at it. Check this out from the California Fire Authority. Right now, there are close to 15,000 firefighters on the ground in California tonight, 2,200 fire engines, 101 aircraft, 251 bulldozers, 334 water tenders, which are the trucks that bring the water to the fire. And it's, of course, not just California maxing out their firefighting potential tonight. Fires are ripping their way up and down the whole West Coast. Whole towns in Washington state have been burnt to the ground. More than 500,000 acres have been burned in Washington state. But the situation in Oregon is particularly and acutely bad right now. I mean, things were bad in Oregon as of yesterday. You probably saw news about it, but it really does seem like the fires there just ballooned overnight. Let me give you a sense of the scale in Oregon. Typically, over the course of the year, Oregon would lose about 500,000 acres to wildfires. In the past week, more than 1 million acres in Oregon have been burned, and 90% of that has happened in the last 72 hours. So we're talking about a surface area larger than the state of Rhode Island burned. It's twice the yearly average up in smoke in 3 days. Tens of thousands of people in Oregon have been told to evacuate their homes. You're looking at images, obviously, of many structures that have already been destroyed. 500,000 people in Oregon live in areas that have been told to at least prepare for a potential evacuation. That's more than 10% of the entire population of the state. And things are getting worse in Oregon tonight. There are multiple fires burning throughout the state, multiple fires uncontained. As I mentioned at the top of the show, 2 of the biggest fires in Oregon are on the verge of merging. Officials have been warning all day that could happen at any moment. That would basically turn it into one big super fire. You'll remember these eerie images from earlier in the week, orange skies in the San Francisco Bay Area, smoke clogging up the air and turning it this weird Martian shade of orange. Well, this was Portland, Oregon today. Less orange, more of just a thick gray blanket of smoke. Air quality in Portland was reported as one of the worst in the entire planet today. The air was so unbreathable in Portland today, people were told they shouldn't leave their homes unless absolutely necessary. At least 26 people have died because of these fires thus far. Dozens more reported missing. Those numbers are expected to grow, especially in Oregon. At least that is what Oregon officials are warning us. Today, the director of emergency management for the state of Oregon said that based on the number of structures that have been lost, he says the state is preparing for a, quote, mass fatality incident.